Hollywood is known for glitz and glamour, but there's another side that rarely sees the light of day. Whispers of secret feuds and fractured friendships often stay hidden behind award shows and photo ops, until something major cracks the veneer. Today, we're pulling back that curtain to reveal the jaw-dropping accounts swirling around a certain A-list star who's usually seen as a fun-loving, comedic icon. But is there a darker reality lurking beneath the charm? Plenty of fans adore his quick wit and charismatic presence. Yet several insiders, from directors to ex-partners, have hinted that the real story is far less flattering. By the end of this, you'll wonder how a single actor could rack up so many behind-the-scenes disagreements. Buckle up, because each revelation is more surprising than the last. There's a moment from the set of the first Deadpool movie that left everyone stunned. TJ Miller, known for playing the wisecracking weasel, recalled how the typically lighthearted atmosphere took a sudden nosedive. One day, Reynolds, still in character as the snarky anti-hero, asked for one more take. Miller expected another dose of playful banter. What he got instead felt painfully personal. In front of the entire crew, Reynolds launched into a string of jabs at Weasel, calling him unimportant and replaceable. At first, TJ Miller thought it was just another improv routine, but when the director yelled "cut," nobody laughed. The studio air felt heavy, and Miller's wife noticed it too. Some said it was just method acting gone wrong. Others believed it was a window into the star's unfiltered feelings. Whatever it was, the fallout was immediate. Miller decided on the spot he never wanted to work with Reynolds again. But that wasn't the whole story. With the massive box office success of Deadpool, you'd think the director would be all in for a sequel. But Tim Miller, who brought the Merc with a mouth to life so effectively, walked away before Deadpool 2 even got rolling. The official explanation cited creative differences. However, insiders whispered that Miller found it impossible to collaborate with Reynolds once the star had more power. It wasn't a minor spat over costumes or set designs. According to those close to the production, Reynolds insisted on calling the shots, from the tone of the script to how certain scenes were cut. Tim Miller, a veteran in visual effects and action storytelling, refused to become a mere bystander. A standoff ensued, and only one man was going to stay.
Sorry for Blake Lively. Then I've been reading all the messages between them all, and absolute weapons-grade narcissist.
Blake Lively is a complete nightmare. She has the audacity to call her husband and Taylor Swift her dragon. It is so offensive and so ridiculous.
Miller left, stating publicly that he wasn't interested in playing a game where he had no chance of winning. With the director gone, Reynolds gained even more influence over the franchise, and the surprising revelations kept coming. If the tensions were limited to film sets, that might be one thing, but rumors of controlling behavior reach further back into the star's personal life. Scarlett Johansson, who once said "I do" to this actor, opened up about how jealousy and controlling tendencies put a strain on their marriage. She didn't blast him with explicit blame in interviews, but her words spoke volumes. She described disliking manipulative behavior and said that passive-aggressive jealousy is downright unattractive. During their marriage, Scarlett's career took off with monumental roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and other high-profile projects. Meanwhile, her spouse struggled to find the same upward trajectory. Some fans point out that once Johansson became a box office powerhouse, cracks in the relationship turned into full-blown canyons. She alluded to volatility behind closed doors, a hint that her ex-partner's comedic charm might have had a less playful side. But there's more to uncover. For a while, it looked like Reynolds had found a genuine friend in Jake Gyllenhaal. Their camaraderie during the press tour for their sci-fi thriller Life became the stuff of viral videos. Playful interviews, pranks, and endless banter. Fans dubbed it the perfect bromance. Then, almost overnight, Gyllenhaal stopped mentioning Reynolds. It was as though their connection disappeared into thin air. Speculation erupted. Did they just drift apart naturally? Or was there a clash behind the cameras that fans never saw? Some say Gyllenhaal was turned off by the overshadowing presence of his co-star. During press events, Reynolds often commanded the conversation, leaving Jake as a sidekick rather than a co-lead. Considering Gyllenhaal's own A-list status, that dynamic might not have sat well. Regardless of the specifics, the once playful duo now seem like complete strangers. But the drama only deepens from here. It's not just co-stars and friends who are raising eyebrows. Enter Justin Baldoni, an actor and filmmaker known for his uplifting projects. Baldoni filed a staggering $450 million lawsuit against Blake Lively, who happens to be married to Reynolds. This legal tangle initially seemed unrelated to the comedic star, but once you dig deeper, the connections start to emerge. Speculation exploded online that Lively and Reynolds might be scrambling to contain the fallout. Recent reports reveal that Blake Lively's request to subpoena Baldoni's phone records was flat out denied as overly intrusive. Instead of resolving quietly, the case ballooned into a full-blown Hollywood spectacle, featuring crisis PR managers and accusations from all sides. While Reynolds hasn't publicly commented, the pressure on his household is mounting. Fans wonder whether this lawsuit could shed even more light on how the power couple manages their public image and whether it's all starting to crack under the weight of controversy. But the intrigue goes beyond lawsuits. If these were isolated incidents, it might be easy to dismiss them as Hollywood gossip. Yet more and more people seem to be stepping forward with tales of friction. Directors, producers, and even staff members on film sets have hinted that it's Reynolds' way or the highway. This approach reportedly alienates talented collaborators who prefer a more balanced creative process. Some anonymous crew members who spoke off the record allegedly described him as charming at first, but quick to push back if his ideas were challenged. They claim he can flip from jovial to dismissive in seconds, leaving entire teams confused about where they stand. One insider recounted a table-read meltdown where Reynolds insisted on last-minute script changes, effectively shutting down any suggestions from the writing team. Whether these stories are exaggerated or not, they paint a picture of a star whose behind-the-scenes persona might differ wildly from the cheeky hero he plays on screen. Yet this isn't the last layer to the story. Look at the roster of individuals who've distanced themselves.
Want to know more about the presence of Taylor Swift, who sort of leads this like mean girl clique? There was a thing happening over the summer that the Daily Mail reported on where there were other female artists such as Billie Eilish who were releasing albums. She was manipulating all of her new releases to keep these women from hitting #1.
TJ Miller, Tim Miller, Scarlett Johansson, Jake Gyllenhaal, and a growing number of unnamed voices. Each has their own reasons, but they all suggest a recurring theme of control and tension. While no single accusation is world-ending on its own, the collective weight is impossible to ignore. Hollywood watchers are left wondering, is this the beginning of a larger exodus from Team Reynolds? Some publicists note that PR spin can only do so much if too many influential players have walked away. Despite his massive popularity and undeniable talent, the negative buzz around personal conflicts may catch up to him. After all, few stars can thrive without strong relationships in an industry built on collaborations. Could these revelations spark a turning point in the comedic actor's career? But the final word is yet to come. It's easy to get caught up in the bright lights and scripted banter of press tours, but every now and then cracks in the facade reveal far more than polished interviews ever could. From TJ Miller's unsettling experience on set to a respected director's abrupt exit, we've seen how creative disagreements can morph into personal rifts. Scarlett Johansson's candid remarks about jealousy painted a picture of tension in a marriage that seemed at first glance to be just another Hollywood power couple. Then came Jake Gyllenhaal's noticeable silence, a warning sign that even friendships in Tinseltown can dissolve when faced with clashing egos. Layer on top the massive Baldoni lawsuit complicating Blake Lively's public image and, by extension, that of her spouse, and the narrative becomes impossible to ignore. The real question now is how these revelations will reshape not only this actor's career, but also our collective perception of him. Audiences have been captivated by his wit and comedic timing for years, latching onto his seemingly effortless charm. But as more co-stars and insiders step forward with less flattering stories, fans may begin to question whether the lovable persona is merely skin deep. Will the lawsuits, rumored control issues, and silent ex-friends pile up enough to fracture his ironclad reputation in Hollywood? People love a comeback story, and some believe this actor might yet pivot by addressing criticisms and mending fences. Others suggest the sheer weight of ongoing controversies may finally take a toll on both his personal and professional relationships. Only time, and perhaps more voices stepping into the spotlight, will tell whether his legacy will be defined by a few unfortunate clashes, or if it will ultimately collapse under the mounting pressure of persistent scrutiny. Hollywood is undeniably intrigued, and so are audiences around the world as they watch a star once considered infallible face a moment of reckoning.